Live NFL trivia every Tuesday night on Twitch at 9 p.m. Eastern. Come show off your football knowledge and have a chance to win cash prizes. Check the link in the description to find out more. And now, on with our feature presentation. I just want to clear something up before we go any further. What Matt LaFleur did was not the worst coaching decision in the history of the NFC Championship. Nothing whatsoever is going to top what happened at the end of the first half of the 1985 NFC Championship with John Robinson and the Los Angeles Rams, when they had the ball inside the red zone with over a minute left and multiple timeouts, and then they just inexplicably let the clock run out. But is what Matt LaFleur did the second worst decision in the history of the NFC Championship? Oh, you bet. I'm going to set the scene for anyone who is watching this video in the future. It's January 24th, 2021, and the Green Bay Packers are taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the NFC Championship. The stakes for this one are simple. The winner moves on to Super Bowl 55, and the loser goes home. If the Packers win, then it's the sixth time in franchise history that they made it to the big game, and the first time since Super Bowl 45 10 years prior. If the Buccaneers win, then not only is it their second Super Bowl in franchise history, but it's the first time ever that a team is playing the Super Bowl in their home venue. Tampa starts off strong, and after a really nice run by Leonard Fournette and a touchdown at the end of the first half, with 1 second left from Tom Brady to Scotty Miller, the Buccaneers lead 21-10. And after a fumble by Aaron Jones, following Tom Brady's third touchdown pass of the day, the Bucs have a 3-possession lead, and they're up 28-10. While this one isn't over by any means, the fat lady is warming up her voice. But you've got Aaron Rodgers. You got a future Hall of Fame quarterback playing the best football of his career, and a likely MVP of the league. Rodgers is really good, and by the time the third quarter comes to a close, the Packers are down by just 5 points. It's a 28-23 game. With under 5 minutes to go, Green Bay has the ball. The Packers are down by 8 points. A touchdown and a 2-point conversion ties the game. After just 2 plays, the Packers have the ball deep inside Tampa territory. Following a third down conversion by Rodgers to his main man Davante Adams, the Packers have first and goal at the 8-yard line. 8 yards away from possibly tying it up and having Tampa Bay blow an 18-point lead. First down, and Rodgers' pass falls incomplete. Why Allen Lazard never looks up for the ball? I don't know. Second down, and Rodgers' pass once again falls incomplete. Third down, and Rodgers, instead of running it, throws an incomplete pass to Davante Adams. Fourth down, 8 yards to the end zone. Your season is on the line. I wonder what kind of magic Aaron Rodgers has lined up here. Wait a minute. That's not Aaron Rodgers. That's Mason Crosby. Wait, why is your kicker on the field?
Here on 4th and goal, Crosby makes this a 5-point game again.
Welcome to Dumb Decisions. Before I break down what happened here, this whole series is about taking an in-depth look at decisions made during games that were clearly awful from the start. This isn't something to look bad in hindsight. Rather, this is something to look awful almost immediately. These are moves where your gut instinct tells you right away that there is no way this can possibly work. And sure enough, your gut instinct was smarter than that of an NFL head coach. And for this one, we're taking a look at the mind of Matt LaFleur. On one hand, I think he's a pretty good coach. In his first 2 seasons with the Packers, he's guided them to the NFC Championship twice. He's gone 13-3 in each of his 2 seasons. I'm not going to knock a coach too much for being 26-6 in his career. When you've won over 81% of your games, clearly you're doing something right. On the other hand, he just did this. He just made one of the stupidest decisions I've ever seen a coach make in a playoff game without a shred of recency bias. So with that being said, let's take a look at why calling a field goal in the red zone down by 8 with 2 minutes to go is a bad idea. As always, I like looking at things from a risk-reward standpoint. Let's look at what I think LaFleur should have done, which was go for it and take your chances. If you miss it, the bad news is you're still down 8. You still need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie the game, and the odds that you get the ball back are pretty slim. Plus, getting 8 yards can be tough. But if you get it, the reward is obvious. You tie the game. You have a shot at winning it. And even if you get the touchdown but don't get the 2-point conversion, if you do manage to get a stop, you get the ball back only needing a field goal to win the game, which means you only have to drive about 30 yards instead of 70. Let's compare that to what LaFleur ended up doing. If you miss the kick, you're in the exact same situation that you would be if you missed the 4th down conversion. If you make the kick though, guess what? You're still down by a touchdown. You still need a touchdown to win the game. You still need to find a way to get the ball back, and then if you do get the ball back, you have to drive 70 or so yards down the field with no timeouts and about a minute left. You're telling me you like your odds of doing that more than your odds of getting 8 yards on one play? How does that make any sense whatsoever? But this decision is even worse than that because of who the Packers have and because of who's lining up on the other side. If you don't trust a guy like Daniel Jones or Jared Goff to get 8 yards on one play and make the right decision in the end zone, I get that. I still go for it 10 times out of 10, but at least I somewhat understand. Let's take a look at who the Packers have at quarterback and see if it was reasonable for him to get 8 yards on this play. Oh yeah, it's Aaron freaking Rodgers, the probable MVP of the league, the guy who finished the game with 346 yards and 3 touchdown passes, the guy who's made it to 9 Pro Bowls, has been a first-team All-Pro 3 times, and the guy that led the league in completion percentage, touchdowns, and passer rating this year. The guy who's a first-ballot Hall of Famer and is without a doubt one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game. You're telling me you don't trust him to get 8 yards. Why? And it'd be one thing if you could honestly trust your defense to get a stop and maybe get the ball back. But let's take a quick look at who's on the other side and who the Buccaneers have at quarterback and see if it was reasonable to expect Aaron Rodgers to be able to touch the ball again. Oh yeah, it's Tom freaking Brady, the greatest of all time. I'm not even going to go any further because I'd be here all day if I listed all of his accolades. You know who knew that you don't give the ball back to Brady, aside from literally everyone else in football? Andy Reid, the coach that, unlike LaFleur, actually got to the Super Bowl. When the Buccaneers played the Chiefs earlier this season, Kansas City called a pass play on 3rd down instead of running some clock. It worked, and the Chiefs won the game because of it. Afterwards, Reid said, "I learned a long time ago, you don't give Tom Brady another shot. That's why he's the GOAT. So don't give him the ball back." That's the mindset there. Reid knew what he was doing. Clearly, LaFleur did not. And to take that one step further, I looked at every game that Tom Brady played in the postseason to see how successful he was with the ball in 2 minutes left. In other words, if Brady and company are winning by 1 possession, and he's got the ball with 2 minutes left, is he giving it back? Excluding Sunday, do you know how many times Brady has given it back in the playoffs under those circumstances? Twice. That's it. And when you break those 2 instances down, neither of those were his fault. At Super Bowl 39, the Pats just ran the ball 3 straight times. In the 2014 divisional against the Ravens, Belichick just had Brady take a knee 3 times, and forced the Ravens to get it back with enough time to call just 1 play. If you put the ball in Brady's hands, you're not getting it back. And if somehow you do get it back, you're not going to have any time to score whatsoever. We have over 2 decades of history to go off of. Giving the ball back to Brady does not work. And if that wasn't bad enough, you would think that your team would be on the same page here. But not even Aaron Rodgers knew that the Packers were kicking the field goal, which is kind of important for your quarterback to know how many downs he's got if he's going to try to punch it into the end zone. Rodgers said afterwards, "If I had known we were going to kick it, I maybe would have gone with some sort of crossing route there instead. But I thought maybe we're going to have 4 chances to go." And LaFleur said afterwards, "Anytime it doesn't work out, you always regret it. It was just the circumstances of having 3 shots and coming away with no yards, and knowing that you not only need the touchdown, but need the 2-point. In other words, LaFleur didn't like the circumstances knowing that his team had to be good on 2 straight plays, but was more than fine with the alternative, which was kicking the field goal and knowing that his team had to be good on 8 or 9 straight plays on both sides of the ball. That makes perfect sense. Anytime players on the opposing team are awestruck that you actually made that call, you know you messed up. So what do we learn from all this? Kicking a field goal when you need to score a touchdown is stupid. When you're down by 8 and there's 2 minutes left, you have to assume that you're not getting the ball back, especially when the player on the opposite side is the greatest quarterback of all time. If you have the MVP of the league and an unbelievable quarterback and need 8 yards, then trust him to get 8 yards. If the best case scenario for one option is the same as the worst case scenario for the second option, then don't do the first option. And the game before the Super Bowl is the worst possible time to coach like a coward. Because when all these elements are in play, you can't exactly be surprised when this play backfires. Talk about a dumb decision. Be sure to like this video, ring the notification bell, subscribe down below if you haven't already, as it helps the channel out a lot. And be sure to check out Twitch every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern for your chance to play NFL trivia and win cash prizes. Link in the description below. If you want to see videos like this condensed down to 60 seconds, then follow me on TikTok at JaroGator9 and subscribe to 60-Second NFL History on YouTube. Also, special thanks to all of our Patreon supporters for helping the channel. Your support is greatly appreciated. So you can become a patron and request future video topics in the description below.